Greetings, people of intellect. This is my book review of 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. This is a very interesting book. This actually arose from a course that Peter Thiel, who by the way is the co-founder, or actually the primary founder, he had co-founders, of PayPal. And there's just, I didn't know that until I started actually getting deeper into the book, and he's like, when I co-founded PayPal, I was like, what? And then I Googled him and I was like, wait, I'm listening to a billionaire? And so that's when it really grabbed my attention. So anyway, he taught a course at his alma mater, which is the university he graduated from, Stanford, and that course was about startups and how advice and notes about how to create a successful startup. And from that course, he figured that everyone should have this knowledge, not just the students that took this course at Stanford. So he and a student that took copious notes collaborated and created the basis of this book. So it's a very, I would say, it gave me some fresh ideas about the concepts of startup and what it takes, and some do's and don'ts. But more than that, the philosophies that he brings forth is very interesting. And I came away with 3 very significant and I think revolutionary topics that I was not familiar with or had not thought about. And so the first of these 3 is the concept, or the title of his book, the concept of going from 0 to 1. He explains that there's 2 types of progress in society. There is horizontal progress and there's vertical progress. Horizontal progress is basically copying a model and replicating that model and spreading it, the art of globalization. The second concept, the second form of progress, vertical progress, is creating something new, creating new technology, which vertical progress he titles as technology or innovation. And an example that he uses is, so you have horizontal progress, globalization, vertical progress, technology or innovation. An example he uses is for example, when the typewriter was created. Globalization would be spreading that typewriter so more people have access to it. Vertical growth or vertical progress or innovation and technology would be to incorporate a word processor to that typewriter, so now that it has a totally different dimension than it had previously. The second concept that I came away with is the concept of competition versus monopoly, and that's not a new concept, but he goes into why competition is not necessarily a good thing. Competition forces 2 competing companies to compete with each other and drive down their profits, but more significantly, it distracts their attention from what truly matters, which is delivering an awesome product or service. And so when you compete, you're more focused on what the other company's doing and what they're doing, and trying to keep the other company down and whatnot, and not really innovating, not really moving forward. And so he talks about monopoly in a very positive light. For example, when you have total dominance of a company, of an industry, you don't have to worry about the bottom line. You can now focus on quality and creating long-term vision and actually funding more ambitious dreams like Apple and Google do. The third concept that I came away with is that in order to create a startup, you can't have something that is just a little bit better than what already existed. You have to have something that is 10 times better, so that when others compare it, they see the visible and tangible difference and superiority in your product or service than something else. And then one last thing that he covers is that globalization is taking something from 1 to n, 1 to like any integer. But innovation and creating something takes something from 0 to 1. And the potential value of 0 to 1 is infinite, and that's what he believes is going to drive the future of this world, is vertical progress.